call this meeting of the City Council to order. Roll call. Johnson? Joseph? Here. Kim? Baker? Here. Yang? Here. Louis? Here. Council President Here. 5 President 2 absent. Johnson? Kim? There. Please stand if you would like and join us with allegiance. All right, so we have board member items today. Thank you and welcome to all our visitors in the chamber. We are going to take our consent agenda first. It's my understanding we're taking item number 17 separately. Are there any other items taken separately from consent? All right, seeing none, Ms. Bouillon will move the remainder of the consent agenda. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
6 in favor, no one opposed. The consent agenda is adopted as amended.
I would flag item number 7 for my colleagues. This is the negotiated contract with the St. Paul Police Federation that is laid over for a week and then will be final voted on next week. So I want to bring your attention to that for review between now and the 28th. With that, I will pass it to Ms. Naker to move version 2 of item number 17. So Ms. Moore will read item 17.
Resolution 24-294, recognizing the Minnesota Music Cafe as Minnesota's best concert venue in 2023.
All right, Ms. Naker.
Thanks, Council President.
It is really an honor to present this resolution to Minnesota Music Cafe and to Karen Palm. I'd like to invite Karen and anyone else who's here with her who wants to join me up here is welcome. Now we have a previous chief here who I totally recognized, Mr. Tyrone Terrell, family, friends, come on up. So I will read a portion of this resolution. I will be honest, there is so much to say about you, Karen, and about Minnesota Music Cafe that I can't read it all, but you'll have this copy to bring home with you, and I will just read, hit the highlights. Recognizing the Minnesota Music Cafe as Minnesota's best concert venue in 2023. And I would say beyond 2023. Whereas the Minnesota Music Cafe is owned by Karen Palm, who has shown a deep commitment to the local music scene and the musicians themselves. And whereas the Minnesota Music Cafe is a beloved live music venue located on the east side of St. Paul on Payne Avenue. And whereas the Minnesota Music Cafe hosts blues, R&B, reggae, jazz, heavy metal, and all genres of music, and has just celebrated its 26th year in business in St. Paul. And whereas the Minnesota Music Cafe is one of the only bars that over its 26-year history has consistently given those from all walks of life and all backgrounds, and I would say in particular the African-American community when they were not able to perform elsewhere, a chance to perform in the city of St. Paul. And honestly, the artists that have performed there take up this entire section of the resolution, so I will let you read those for yourselves, but there are too many to name. And many other musicians who are part of the Minnesota Music Cafe family. And whereas during the closure of live music venues during the pandemic, Karen raised money for out-of-work musicians by assembling a DVD of many of the artists who performed at Minnesota Music Cafe, dedicating all the proceeds to the musicians. And whereas Minnesota's Best voted the Minnesota Music Cafe the best concert venue in Minnesota in 2023, besting the big concert venues and proving that the little guy can win, little gal. Yes. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the St. Paul City Council congratulates the Minnesota Music Cafe on being named the best concert venue in Minnesota and extends its appreciation and deep thanks to Karen Palm and her family and her staff for her decades of commitment to live music in St. Paul. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before you speak, I'm going to move the resolution. Karen has a few words to say, but I don't want to be premature, so I'd love to move this resolution and have a vote, Council President, if that's okay, before Ms. Palm speaks.
Great. Ms. Naker would move approval of the resolution. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
7 in favor, no one opposed. The resolution is adopted as amended.
Wonderful. Go ahead.
Hi, I grew up in a house full of musicians. One of those musicians was Melvin Carter Sr. He hung around my house my whole life. He and my parents were best friends. There was a big feature article in the Pioneer Press about 20 years ago where Mr. Carter was being interviewed about his life. He talked about being a jazz musician. And he said, in those days, the musicians could not walk in the front door of the places where they played. So they had house parties. Those house parties were at my house. Another thing Mr. Carter said when he was talking about his life, he said, in those days, we weren't rich, but we were okay. Karen's family was the poorest family that we knew. That goes back to that, the little guy can win. The smallest venue, probably in this category in the state. Somehow, I won. Here at my house now, Minnesota Music Cafe, just like when I was 6 years old, everyone is welcome. Thank you very much.
Item 18 is final adoption of ordinance 24-7, amending the appendix to Chapter 409 of the Legislative Code pursuant to Section 17.70.1 of the Charter and Section 409.16 of the Legislative Code to create 4 distinct commercial development districts within the area known as a creative enterprise zone and allow for 9 on-sale liquor licenses of any type, notwithstanding on-sale liquor licenses allowed under Chapter 409 of the Legislative Code to be distributed among the 4 districts.
Right, this ordinance is for us for final adoption. We were able to update the map with questions that we got during the public hearing, and this will ultimately allow for more types of activities to happen within the creative enterprise zone. If there are no questions for staff, I would move approval. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
7 in favor, no one opposed. The ordinance is adopted.
Thank you.
Item 19 is resolution public hearing 24-35, amending the financing and spending plan of the Department of Parks and Recreation in the amount of $2,500,000 for construction of the Wakan-Tepe Center project at the Bruce Bento Nature Sanctuary.
All right, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? All right, seeing none, I would move it to Ms. Johnson for any remarks.
Yeah, no, I just really wanted to take the time to uplift the work of Wakan-Tepe and the Wakan-Tepe Center and just the ongoing communications that our city has continued to have and partnerships that we hope to continue to see with this not only the Bruce Venture Nature Sanctuary, but the overall production of the work that they're trying to accomplish over the next couple of years, as well as we continue to envision the relationship between our communities, as well as the relationship within the Dakota community. And this space, I think, is an opportunity to just highlight the fact that they are a fully functioning organization that has been doing work that we will feel decades, maybe even centuries after this. So just really take any time to uplift the work that they're doing, the work of Maggie Lorenz and our community, and it's always a good day when you're able to send and steward funds their way as well.
Thank you. I would second that. I am incredibly excited to accept these funds for the Walk on TP Center project. This is an amazing standard-setting partnership between our Parks Department and our Dakota community leaders. It is candidly a type of land back model that I feel incredibly honored to support and proud that our city is taking this item up. If there are no other public comments before us, Ms. Johnson would move approval. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 20 is Resolution Public Hearing 24-36, approving the application of Patrick McGovern's Pub for a sound level variance in order to present amplified sound for Lucky Palooza and St. Patrick's Day events on March 9th, 16th, and 17th at 225 7th Street West, Patrick McGovern's Pub.
All right, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item? Seeing none, Ms. Nicker would move to close the public hearing and approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 21 is Resolution Public Hearing 24-37, approving the application of Shamrock's Irish Nook for a sound level variance in order to present amplified sound for the St. Patrick's Day weekend event on March 15th, 16th, and 17th at 995 7th Street West, Shamrock's Irish Nook.
All right, this is a public hearing. Is anyone here to speak to this item? Definitely St. Patrick's Month coming up. All right, seeing none, Ms. Nicker would move to close the public hearing and approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
7 in favor, no one opposed. The public hearing is closed and the resolution is adopted. Item 22 is Resolution Public Hearing 24-38, authorizing an increase in the Parks and Recreation Grant Fund budget in the amount of $510,000 to reflect grant funding expected, budgeted, and awarded in 2023 from the Como Zoo DNR grant.
This is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak to this item?
I would like to speak to that item. Can I?
Are you here to speak about the Como Zoo DNR grant?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Come on up.
Council President Jalali and council members, thank you for letting me say a few words. I'm very glad that you're increasing the budget for Parks and Recs in St. Paul. We definitely need more of that. And considering that we need a lot of resources spent in our communities here in St. Paul, I appreciate that you're voting on this item. Yet, I am very disappointed that you're not thinking about how the money that the city should be spending in its people, considering the rise in homelessness, considering the $150 million of shortcoming in education budget, considering that the rate of poverty in St. Paul is 34% higher than any other place in Minnesota. Our money, I live in Ward 7, our money is going to the state of Israel. Our money is going to supporting and investing in companies such as Lockheed Martin that are operating here in St. Paul, making weapons that are killing Gaza, children and women and men in Gaza. And I know that you have made the comment that Palestine is not, or ceasefire is not a local issue. I don't know how much more local it can be when our money is going to bomb people and kill them. I don't want my tax money as a St. Paul resident.
I appreciate you being here, but I haven't heard you talk about, so under the procedural rules, if you're not addressing the Como Zoo grant, then we do have to wrap up your comment.
All right, well, it's a budget issue for the public, and I'm saying that the public should be, the money for this city should be going to our people rather than bombing people in Gaza, and I hope that you will consider at least proposing this resolution. Even if you're going to vote no on it, propose it.
Thank
Let
you,
us see the people here. We are residents of St. Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your point is taken. Thank you. Want to do ledge hearing? Introduce. Oh, sorry. So motion to close the public hearing and approve.
Are there opportunities for other people to speak to the issue?
So if you're going to speak to the Como Zoo DNR grant, then you can. I will be candid that that last comment was really going outside the bounds of it, even though I do hear your point, and we appreciate that. So if you're here to speak to the Como Zoo grant, then this is a public hearing for that item.
The Como Zoo, frequently I find very depressing. When I go there, it honestly looks like a prison. But the place that I actually think is a prison is what's going on in Gaza. People have been held there against their will and are being forced to be bombed. They're being deprived of food. And in all honesty, this is a serious issue that you are neglecting. If you look in the audience here, we've done the math. According to the New York Times, we have lost 1,500 people. Okay, 1,500 people since we first came to this chamber. And those deaths, I honestly think should be something that keep you up at night. They keep me up at night. I've been to Gaza. I've actually been to Rafah. I've actually been to multiple of the refugee camps that have been destroyed. And so these deaths are something that I think are very serious. And so I think, yes, we should improve things like the Como Zoo, but I honestly think we have other important issues that you are neglecting. And we have numerous people, including myself, who have emailed and called offices and have received nothing. This weekend alone, we collected over 500 signatures. And our public policy issues also need to be considered as well.
Thank you for that. And we actually will not take comments like this if you're going to take items and distort them for another item. So I appreciate you.
That says something about you and your ability to do your job, not about my content.
This is our job. This is our job, and we are doing it. With that, we have welcomed you to chambers every week. We'll continue to do that. All right. Ms. Johnson would move to close the public hearing and approve. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
7
No.
in favor, no one opposed.
No.
The public
This
hearing
is not-
closed and the resolution is
Sanaa.
adopted.
That have signed a petition asking you to set a ceasefire resolution because their tax dollars are funding a genocide that is affecting their families.
So
shame on you guys. Shame on you.
All right. I'm calling the St. Paul City Council back to order from recess. Councilmember Jost moves the remaining balance of the legislative hearing items.
So moved.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Is there anyone here? Because those are public hearings.
No one is here to testify on a legislative hearing item.
Fantastic. Thank you.
4 in favor, no one opposed. The consent agenda is adopted as amended.
Great. St. Paul City Council is adjourned.